as someone with no originality whatsoever, I'm going to do what just works so well on YouTube because, you know, everyone's boring, and it's just the rank shit. But I'm just going to make it stupid to kind of follow the way that my channel works. Also, the first video in my channel where, this is the first video in my channel where I'm just going to not necessarily react to previously recorded footage that I made, and instead I'm going to just do a roulette spin on just random footage from my GoPro folder and just kind of piece it together to be the length that I eventually record for this video and hope for the best. So this will just be a chaotic thing where you'll never, maybe by some crazy luck you'll see the same coaster being mentioned as you see it, but almost certainly not. So my strategy for ranking coasters, I've been on 325 of them, is that I don't rank a coaster unless it's equivalent or better to the worst Aero Mine Train. Anything other than that is going to be like some family coaster, kids coaster bullshit, and honestly, it sounds like genuine, actual torture to compare fucking kids coasters from each other, dude. I'd rather literally be in a car accident than do that stupid shit. So let me start at number 228. Runaway Mine Train at Six Flags Great Adventure. I'm gonna bundle these together because there's no way. 228 is Runaway Mine Train at Six Flags Great Adventure in my rankings. 227 is River King Mine Train in Six Flags St. Louis. 226 is Trailblazer at Hershey Park. 225 is Carolina Gold Rusher at Carowinds, and 224 is Cedar Creek Mine Ride at Cedar Point. These I consider the bottom tier Aero mine trains, and the worst mine train I've been on is the one, are the ones in this tier. But I still like them enough to rank them, and that's kind of where I draw the line. Aero, love them, but they've made better mine trains, and we'll get to them later on the list. Number 223 is my most recent credit because, it's open 25% of the time apparently. Joker Funhouse Coaster at Six Flags Over Georgia, Mike Vacoma. It's a lot more fun than it looks, but it's still, on the level of a mine train. Fun though, and whatever. 222 is Range at Yesterland Farm. Some extremely used bullshit that they found, and they just kind of threw it into like some weird family park off the side of I-20. And the reason I have it ranked is because it's so goddamn bad that I think it's absolutely hilarious. And I usually only love bad wood coasters, but this is like the one exception for a bad steel coaster that I kind of find amazing because it has a sign saying, Range is riding rough as fuck today, or whatever it says. Please be careful. It's a park like the average person enjoying the amusement attractions is like 9. So for them to have a coaster that just literally hurts and they admit it in that park is just the funniest shit. 219 and 220 are the two big Thunder Mountain railroads at the Disneys. They're ranked kind of low because my strategy is I compare the best ride I've ever had on each ride against each other. So if I just had a wonderful day and a wonderful experience on a ride, that's the one I rank equivalent to other ones. And both times that I really did anything at Disney, I was with an ex-girlfriend that I was fighting with all the time, who surprisingly I actually ran into in Atlanta when I was on my coaster trip just now. She didn't see us because we bolted the fuck out because I did not need to deal with that drama again. But small world. Anyway, what kind of fucking tangent am I drifting on? 221 is Pony Express at Knott's Berry Farm. It's fine. It's a fun family ride, and I'll do it twice if there's no wait and I don't feel like walking away from it. Wait a minute, didn't I already say that? That was 221. 219 and 220 were Big Thunders. 218 is Rewind Racers down the street at Adventure City. It's a pretty fun for, if you're doing Knott's Berry Farm and on a credit run, stop here for 12 minutes and ride that. It's fun. It's some rare Gerstlauer shuttle bullshit. 217, I have Wave Breaker with a rescue coaster at SeaWorld San Antonio. Another family fun coaster, it's fine. 216 Scream at Six Flags Magic Mountain, the worst B&M I've been on. It's very bad, but it's still a B&M, so I guess I have to rate it a little bit better than the things I've just said. 215 is Corkscrew at Cedar Point. It's bad, dude. It's like the worst coaster at Cedar Point. I mean, let's be real. I mean, Wilderness Run and Woodstock Express, I guess, are worse, but come on, man. It's fine, it's pretty, but I already complained about it in another video. I'm moving on. 213 and 214 are Woodstock Express at Kings Dominion and Kings Island. Junior PTCs, they're lots of fun, but I can't rank them higher because, they're junior PTCs. I mean, yeah. So, holy fuck. Number 207, 208, 209, 210, 211, and 212 are Batman the Ride at Over Georgia, Batman the Ride at Magic Mountain, Goliath at Fiesta, Texas, Batman the Ride at St. Louis, Six Flags, Great White at SeaWorld San Antonio, and Batman the goddamn Ride at Six Flags Over Texas. They're ranked this low because I value uniqueness in roller coasters way more than most people. And I'm sorry, it's just so repetitive. And even if there was only one Batman the Ride, it would still rank in like my 170s. It's the bottom tier of B&M Inverts, even though they're fun, I guess. 205 and 206, Riddler's Revenge at Magic Mountain and Green Lantern at Great Adventure. The only stand-ups worth ranking. I don't rank the Funk coasters, but Mantis wouldn't have even made it, I don't think. And Vortex at Carowinds sucks actual fucks, and I need to take back the worst B&M thing. The actual worst B&M is Vortex at Carowinds, because it didn't even fucking rank it. The worst Mine Train is better than that piece of shit. 200, 201, and 202 are the S&S free spins, because, well, 3 of the 4 S&S free spins, including Batman the Ride at Fiesta, Texas, Joker at Over Texas, Joker at Great Adventure. They're fun. I mean, the fact that I think that they're better than the other Batman the Ride, even though one of them's called Batman the Ride, oh my god. 197, Tempesto, 198, Electric Eel, 199, Tigris, Premier Rides, Skyrocket 2, bullshit. 196, Rougarou at Cedar Point. It's fine. It improved on Mantis, which wouldn't have even made my top 250, which I don't even... Oh, and let me say something real quick. I do rank my bottom 5, and it's Vekoma SLC, Vekoma SLC, Vekoma SLC, Vekoma SLC, and some kiddie coaster at Magic Mountain that got my socks wet and ruined my day. I talk about that when I'm near Storm Chaser in my Kentucky Kingdom video if you want to hear me complaining. Number 195 is Runaway Mountain at Six Flags Over Texas. It's fun, and I don't have a lot more to say. 194, Revenge of the Mummy at Universal Studios, Florida. I was fighting with an ex-girlfriend then too. I'm sure I would have had a way better ride if I wasn't fighting with an ex-girlfriend. I mean, she was unreasonable and I was an asshole, and it was just a recipe for disaster, quite honestly. 193 is Santa Monica West Coaster, Pacific Park. You know, that like scenic yellow coaster you see like when they're panning around Los Angeles in football games or whatever they do. Yeah, it's scenic and it's fun and it's iconic, but it's still a damn tiny family coaster. Speaking of tiny family coaster, 192 Patriot at Castles and Coasters. Apparently, if you get ride-ups that really don't give a fuck, you can just ride around this thing with the restraints completely up. I saw a video of it, which is outrageous. They don't care about putting on restraints, and that's why the other coaster at Castles and Coasters is probably higher than any enthusiast has ever ranked it. You'll hear about it way later in this fucking video. 191 Iron Dragon at Cedar Point. It's a family suspension. It's not exciting. 190 Tumbili King's Dominion. I just think this is better than the other S&S free spins because with the jungle theme, the colors, and like it just feels a little nicer. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. 189 is Iron Shark at Galveston Pier. As I said in the other video, it's your usual Gerstlauer Eurofighter bullshit. It's the beach is nice, but it's not enough to compensate for the fact that the ride is like 9 seconds long. 188 Daredevil Dive at Six Flags Over Georgia, which I actually need to swap. I now think Iron Shark is a little bit better than Daredevil Dive. Over Georgia, that's where it is. I'm going to swap them though. 187 Texas Tornado at Wonderland in Amarillo, Texas. You know that coaster with the incomplete loop that looks like a piece of shit? Yeah, that's pretty funny. It's a good ride, I guess. I mean, as the star attraction of a park, that's rough, but you know. In fact, I ranked up my Wonderland even higher. In fact, I'm going to rank 2 things at Wonderland even higher than their star attraction. Number 186 is Invader at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, which is a boring family wood coaster, but for families, I'm sure it's not boring. GCI, my least favorite GCI. I mean, now that Wildcat's gone. 185 Manta at SeaWorld San Diego. Mock Ride's family bullshit. Don't need to explain much more. It's family bullshit done well. Good for them. 184 Thunder Run at Kentucky Kingdom, a Din Corporation coaster that I don't completely hate. I love the Mean Streak a lot more. It's fine. It's okay. It's fun, I guess. 183 Laugh Track, Hershey Park. Keep in mind, there's going to be some big Hershey Park shit I didn't ride. Wildcat's Revenge, obviously. Storm Runner was closed when I went, and Super Duper Looper was closed when I went in 2020 as well. Just letting y'all know that. Laugh track is a lot of fun, and I would ride it more than once. And for a family indoor thing, when you're stoned, that thing is ballin'. It's with those funhouse mirrors and shit. It's crazy. 182, Kentucky Flyer, Kentucky Kingdom, my least favorite gravity group, which makes sense because it's a family ride. Family rides are not a recipe for me smiling. 181, Wildcat at Frontier City in Oklahoma, National Amusement Device Company, old shit. It's not a great wood coaster, but it's pretty scenery and looks good, I guess, and it's fine and I like it. What a great review, right? Like, it's only getting worse. 180, Patriot at Worlds of Fun. B&M Invert that I'm just not excited about, really. I don't even remember how it went. I was a little tired, but like the fact that I have nothing to say about it, I kind of just threw it where it made sense. 197, Great Bear at Hershey Park, which I'm sure is going to go up a good bit because I just wasn't feeling, I don't know if I'm nauseated or what. I remember not getting anything out of it, but I think it's because I was in a bad mood and I was being a cranky piece of shit. I have a few coasters on my list from when I lived in London as a teenager. In between 2001 and 2005, and then I came back to Thorpe Park in 2015, so that's where you're going to get a couple sprinkles of that. Other than that, I've only been in the US, but I plan on doing all of the stuff, Europe, Japan, etc. by the time I die. I mean, for sure, a few decades if I'm lucky. The Walking Dead The Ride, which used to be called X No Way Out, and it was way better when it was X No Way Out because it was doing some backwards bullshit. It was a lot of fun. But I think this ranking does reflect when it was X No Way Out. I can't really rank it much higher now that I think about it. 175, 176, 177, Pandemonium, and Pandemonium at Fiesta, Texas, St. Louis, over Texas, Gerstlauer Spinner bullshit. 174, Sierra Sidewinder at Ninth Berry Farm. Is that done better? A little bit better. Not a lot better, but I think it's better. 173 for Bolton at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. It's for a family ride. It's one of the best, but like, good family rides are still holding the 170s. I mean, it's fine. It's fun. There's a 9,000,000% chance I would have preferred Big Bad Wolf if I had the opportunity over that, but moving on. 172 is the only traveling coaster so far that I've ranked on my bullshit. Windstorm, first found at Texas State Fair, but SJ Entertainment, I believe, is the operator, the showman or whatever, and the SDC Crazy Bitch. I enjoy it a lot. 171, Rolling Thunder at Tropic Falls, which is, I guess, my home park, formerly Park at Oa. It's so fucking lame. It's like Zamperlaville, and it's not fun, but Rolling Thunder, I can't really complain. It's kind of like a crappy Gerstlauer Eurofighter, but I guess I haven't ranked higher than the Eurofighter, so I don't know what I'm talking about. 170, well, the ones I talked about, I have a few Eurofighters higher. 170 is in Vertigo at Kings Island. I can't believe a boomerang related thing makes it, but it's way better than all of the lame-ass regular boomerangs. It's fun. I enjoyed it. 169, Colossus at Thorpe Park, that 10 invert, and that's reflecting when I rode it in the opening season in 2002, because when I came back in 2015, that thing was fucked. Not a lot of fun, really. 168, Tigger at Indiana Beach, some Schwarzkopf old Jetstar bullshit, and I really enjoyed it, and I would have done it more had I remembered, honestly. I mean, this has to be the worst review you've ever heard of things, right? You know, whatever. 167, Blue Hawk at Six Flags over Georgia. That spaghetti Vekoma shit. I like it. It has the slowest look till I've ever seen, and it's hilarious. It takes like 3 minutes or 10 minutes, some exaggerated number like that. But it's fun. You know, the head choppers are good, and the restraints make it way better than apparently what it used to be. So that's kind of neat, I guess. Whatever. And now the second wave of Aero mine trains, which honestly kick ass. 166, Dahlonega Mine Train at Over Georgia. 165, Gold Rusher at Magic Mountain. 164, Runaway Mine Train at Over Texas. 163, Adventure Express at Kings Island. 162, Roadrunner Express at Fiesta, Texas. And my favorite Aero Mine Train, 161, Thunderation at Silver Dollar City. These are just better. Thunderation is really scenic and intense and fun. Roadrunner Express is like the most intense one. It's actually kind of a thrill ride. And Adventure Express ends in that lift hill that leads you to a station. I mean, the most exciting ending I've ever seen. And the other ones are just fun. I try to get 2 rides on each of those when I ride them, to be quite honest with you. The shit's great, man. 160 is Anaconda at Kings Dominion. 159's Viper at Magic Mountain. Y'all complain about these mega loopers way too goddamn much. If Vortex at Kings Island were still open, it would be like way higher, like number 100 or something. But it's gone, so I don't rank it because that just pisses me off. And actually, I need to clean up my shit because I just remembered Top Thrill Dragsters are still on my ranking, so you're going to hear that and it's going to sound like I'm inconsistent. God damn it. 158, Big Dipper at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. I barely remember it, but watching the POVs, I kind of just like tried to remember. It was fine. There's like so much stuff at Blackpool Pleasure Beach I didn't ride, but a few of them I did, and that was one of them. 157 is Gatekeeper at Cedar Point. Pretty overrated. The beach setting is nice, but it's pretty overrated. I just don't really care that much about it. 156 is Cobra's Curse at Busch Gardens, Tampa. And 155, Scorpion, also at Busch Gardens, Tampa. One good Schwarzkopf, one good silly, happy family ride that I really enjoy, and it gets you giggling. I mean, it's a good ride. 154, Icebreaker at SeaWorld San and Lando. SeaWorld Orlando. I meant to say SeaWorld Orlando. It's way better than the Skyrocket 2s. It's a little more thrilling. It's fun, but it's not like a star attraction or anything. It really does feel like a 4th or 5th place at SeaWorld Orlando. It's honestly, I guess it's what it's supposed to be. I really don't know who the audience is for that, considering what is it supposed to be? A family ride or a thrill ride? Like, make up your mind. 153, Cyclone at Wonderland in Amarillo. I have it ranked this high because it is easily my favorite Wild Mouse because it has no restraints. You can just stand up and jump and die if you feel like it, but it's fun, it's chaotic and a lot of fun, and I hear that there's a couple others I need to ride that are like that, some old miler bullshit. I can't wait to ride more of these. These are fun. 152, Silver Bullet at Frontier City. Did I just say that? Yeah, I totally did. It's a good Schwarzkopf. 151, Hurler at Carowinds. I like it more than others because kind of janky, fun little wood coasters. I know everyone hates it. I just don't hate Hurler. I don't know what to tell you. 150, my favorite coaster at Wonderland Amarillo, Mousetrap. It is a Pinfari that I really like. I know that sounds like bullshit, but watch the POV. It's like a monster. It's like they blew up the size of a crappy Pinfari and got the right restraints and made it fun. Even Canopy Coaster made a review on it saying that it's not bullshit. It's a good ride. You should check that shit out. 149, Oblivion at Alton Towers. One trick pony looking ass. I mean, I enjoyed the one trick. 147, Backlot Stunt Coaster at Kings Island. 148, Backlot Stunt Coaster, Kings Dominion. It's Backlot Stunt Coaster. Like, come on, everyone's offered their opinion on that. It's good for what it is. It's not much more to talk about than, fun little thrill, happy thing. But, clone shit. 146, Rock and Roller Coaster at Disney's Hollywood Studios. It's fun. It's fine. It's one of the best Disney coasters, but it's not incredible. It's good. It's good. That's all I can give you, man. 145, Hurricane at Punspot Kissimmee, which is pretty embarrassing that an E&F miler outranks Rock and Roller Coaster, but it's the king of E&F milers. The thing is, it's fun, man. It's really actually fun, and I couldn't believe it. I rode it 3 times, not believing that I was having a genuinely good time. It has actual airtime, actual fun. It's unreal. Number 144, Flight of Fear at King's Dominion. Indoor thrill coaster bullshit. It's fun. The one at Kings Island is better, and I don't even see it, so I hope I have it ranked higher, because now I'm all confused. Where the fuck is it? Hold on. Let me check it out. Where's the other Flight of Fear? Did I forget to rank it? Where the fuck is it? Making sure I didn't fuck up. Oh, I didn't. It's just way higher. Okay, well, which is applicable, but I didn't realize I had it ranked that much higher. That's crazy. 143, Joker's Jinx at Six Flags America. It's like the outdoor version of that, and it's fine. It's a little different. It redeems itself at the end, which makes it a pretty good ride. 142, Judge Roy Scream at Six Flags Over Texas. Old grandfather coaster bullshit, kind of hanging out, abandoned at the side, like outside of the park. Impossible to find, but when you ride it, you're like, was that walk worth it? For me, the answer is yes, but I'm pretty sure for most people, the answer is no. I do have one exception to the U.S.-England thing. My parents lived in Malaysia for a few years, and my mom felt sorry for me that, I wasn't having a lot of fun in Malaysia, so she took me to the Berjaya Times Square theme park, where I rode an indoor Intamin called Supersonic Odyssey. Just watch a POV of it. It's cool. It's not incredibly exciting, but indoors, it's nice. I like it. 140, Steel Eel at SeaWorld San Antonio. I must have only gotten bad rides on it, but all I remember is janky, unfulfilling airtime, and the notch in the middle of the seat kept hitting my nuts. I was going up mediocrely in the air, and my balls would hit the notch on the damn seat. I had to shuffle back. You had to sit defensively, but not with your shoulders, but your ass. maybe I was just dumb that day, but I need to go back to it because I know it'll go up because everyone loves it way more than I did, and I don't think it's justified. My memories must be fucked up. 138 and 139, the two Space Mountains, Disneyland over Disney World or something, and I was fighting with an ex-girlfriend too, but I do remember it was fine, so I found a way to enjoy it. Thankfully, the one trip where we weren't fucking fighting was when we went to Cedar Point. That was actually quite nice. Why am I talking about her right now? I'm definitely not dwelling on... I saw her recently, so that's why I'm thinking about her. You know, like when she just walked into a bar that I was drinking beer in, which is batshit crazy. Alex, if you hear this, sorry I didn't say hello, but I just didn't feel like doing that. 137, Medusa at Six Flags Great Adventure. It's pretty fun and dramatically better than Scream. Like the same shit mirrored, but it doesn't suck. It's just way better. 136 is El Loco at Adventure Dome. SNS El Loco, lots of fun. And if you notice, the Indiana Beach one, I didn't even fucking rank it. That shoulder thing, I only got one ride on it, but the ride operator jammed that thing down to where it was agonizingly crushing my shoulders, and I hated the ride. So I need to give it another shot because my one ride on that was awful. El Loco, it wasn't because it was a damn lap restraint, like shitloads of fun. 135, Lava Bora, Six Flags over Texas, Intamin bobsled. Pretty fun, but the only other one I rode, the Mach one, is so much better. It's fun, it's nostalgic, but it's not crazily exciting. 134, Texas Stingrays, SeaWorld San Antonio, GCI. They opened that coaster, like 2 weeks before the pandemic, which was, pretty hilariously horrible timing for that. But anyway, I ended up riding it, and it was pretty alright. That's it. 133, Roar, Six Flags America. Old GCI bullshit. I can't really complain because it doesn't suck. It's just not exciting or memorable. 132, X Coaster at Magic Springs. More Skyloop crap. The two coasters I wanted to ride more than that at Magic Springs. I went there. Thankfully, I didn't make a specific Magic Springs trip. I had to host karaoke for a wedding down the street from it, which is very strange. So, extra shit that I got to do. But I really wanted to ride Big Bad John and their old hilariously bad wood coaster because I knew I was going to like just a generic Wish.com wood coaster. But all I got to ride was X Coaster, and it was pretty fucked. That sensation of being lift-hilled while you're upside down is really weird. I liked it, but go to Magic Springs just for that? I don't think so. 131, Giant Dipper at Belmont Park. I wish I loved it more. I even got a Giant Dipper t-shirt, and I wear it all the time, but it's old, and I like the nostalgic element of it, but it beats you up a decent bit. It's not extremely marathonable. I rode it 7 or 8 times, but is it marathonable for a normal person? I wouldn't say so. 130, Powder Keg at Silver Dollar City. I only got one ride on it the first visit, and it was closed the second visit, even though we were waiting in line for it. I just thought it was a very, very ADHD coaster that really didn't know what it was doing. I know I didn't get a great ride on it, and I'm sure I'll get a better ride on it next time, but I just remember thinking, what the fuck was that? What was it even trying to do? My least favorite star attraction at Silver Dollar City, and with only Thunderation really under it. 129, Valraven Cedar Point. It's GP Magnet. I mean, it's fine, dude. It's okay, but 128, Sheikra at Busch Gardens Tampa. It's just a little bit better, but dive coasters on the most part. There's one exception to it, but on the most part, Superman, Escape from Krypton. Six Flags Magic Mountain is number 127. I can't believe a coaster that launches you 100 miles an hour with a little top hat thing can be ranked so lowly, but there it is. I went to Magic Mountain a total of 6 days over 2 trips, and with 1 hour left to go on day 6 on the second trip, they finally opened one side, and I finally got my technically last credit at Magic Mountain, but I guess not because I didn't ride the other fucking side. It's just a one-trick pony that isn't exciting relative to how just all of the other ones do the exact same thing. 126, Expedition Everest at Animal Kingdom Disney World. Crap. I keep... The Disney story repeats again. I'm sure I would have liked it more, but not that much more, because I do remember enjoying it to the limit of how much I could have enjoyed it. So that was pretty cool, I guess. 125, Wild One at Six Flags America, the oldest coaster I've been on, which is a great PTC. In fact, here's a string of PTCs, like most of them, on the way. I haven't ridden a lot of the really important ones in like the Northeast and shit, which I hope to get to in 2024, but here's the limited selection of what I've done so far. 125 was Wild One at Six Flags America. 124, Racer 75 at Kings Dominion. 123, Racer at Kings Island. 122, Blue Streak at Cedar Point. 121, Screamin' Eagle at Six Flags St. Louis. 120, Cannonball at Lake Winnepesaukah. And 119, Comet at Hershey Park. That's how I rank those PTCs, and they're honestly really similar to each other, so I can't exactly separate them out, except for the two above them that did stand out. 118, Lightning Racer at Hershey Park. I really love the dueling element. It wasn't world class, not really, but I enjoyed it more than most people told me I would. Like, what's wrong with it? 117, Goliath at Six Flags Magic Mountain, Diavanola shit, which I ranked higher than Titan until Titan decided to transform last year into a way better coaster. So it went up. Goliath didn't. 116, Forceless shit. 116, Canyon Blaster at Adventure Dome, an indoor aero, which is pretty unique. It survived, it didn't have to survive the elements because it's been indoors the whole time. So for that sake, for that, it rides as you would expect the 70s aero to ride in the 70s. So that's kind of cool. 115, Flight of Fear at Kings Island. I just had a way, way better ride there than on the other ones, especially on my most recent trip. So fuck yeah. 114, Poltergeist at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, which I actually like more than its clones that are indoors. I don't know what it is, just the head chopper moments and just the sheer speed and the big green son of a bitch with the light package. It's just a more enjoyable experience. It's more chaotic, I think, when you can see it versus can't. 113, man, holy shit, we're like 27 minutes into this an hour-long video. 113, Rampage at Alabama fucking Adventure. I have a whole video on that. Watch my video on that. 112, Twister at Knoebels. Shitloads of fun, but anybody who says that Twister is better than Phoenix is either a laterals enthusiast or an idiot. I'm sorry. I think even El Toro Orion thinks that. I think that might be the only thing I disagree with him on. Like, are you kidding me? Phoenix is so much better than Twister. Are you out of your actual mind? 111, Kentucky Rumbler at Beach Bend. They dropped just a very good GCI, basically in a parking lot in a park with a bunch of like flats from the 50s and 60s. Weird park, but I love it. I have a damn tie-dye Beach Bend shirt and I wear that shit. The best ride there, in my opinion, is Scat 2. This old ass flat where it like glues your face to it like a Gravitron, which they also have. They also have a Gravitron, so they have two rides that glue your face to the seat. But Scat 2 is so much better because it's such a jank. Number 110, Diamondback at Frontier City. Number 109, Revolution, Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Aero shuttle loops. They look like the most nothing burger ass coasters, but they are fun. They just are good. The airtime's good and it's fun and I like them. 108, Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket at Universal Studios. I'm kind of in the middle. There's people who think it's elite and there's people who think it's a piece of shit. I think it's good. I think it's pretty good. That's it. 107, Incredicoaster, Disney California Adventure, my favorite Disney coaster so far. I haven't done Guardians of the bullshit or the new Magic Kingdom bullshit. I'm not even sure if it's open yet. So that's what I think is currently the best one. It's fun, it's intimate, I love it in it. 106, Copperhead Strike, Carowinds. I don't know if I just didn't get the right rides on it because people say it's temperamental and speeds up and changes, so I'll give it another chance, but that's where I have it. 105, Kumba at Busch Gardens Tampa. I used to have it rated way the fuck lower, but I got some quality rides on it. I think it's because the first trip I was riding it only in the middle row or something. I like it. It's a lot of fun. 104, Nemesis Inferno at Thorpe Park. Like one of the B&M Inverts relative to the other ones. But I mean, it's okay. Compared to the actual Nemesis, which I did ride, it's you can't even compare. It's like Nemesis Nerfo. 103, Fire Chaser Express at Dollywood is such a good family ride. For me to rate a family ride this high, I think it's like maybe my third favorite family coaster of all time. It's the little fire element. I rode it in the drizzle with good weather and cool people having fun. It was pleasant as fuck. 102, Great American Scream Machine at Six Flags Over Georgia. My second favorite PTC, and their retrack really, really, really improved the ride. It's a lot of fun. I rode it back when it was janky and crazy, and I still had it as like under comment on that like PTC run earlier that I just mentioned of like the rankings and whatever. It's a lot better, but they got rid of the one thing that was like one of my favorite parts of the ride, that the brake slam when it hit the brake run was so jank that it would have this hilarious moment. I would always be in the back row and I would see when it slammed into the station that everybody would go, their heads would shoot forward and then all at once, exactly the same time, slam back into the seat. It was like a whippy hilarious thing where everyone just got bitch slapped at the end of the ride, and it didn't hurt or anything because like padded seats, but it was one of my favorite parts of the ride, and they open air quote fixed that. I liked it. They shouldn't have fixed that. 101, Apollo's Chariot. Yes, I have a B&M Hyper that low. It's a fun ride, but compared to all the other ones, are you kidding me? The forces just aren't that great, and if the setting wasn't so nice, I would have it ranked even lower. It's a B&M Hyper though. 100, Candemonium, Hershey Park. The other B&M Hyper that I cannot understand how motherfuckers rate it, even in the top 4 at Hershey Park. What are you talking about? I mean, it is. I guess it's my 4 or 5 or something because I didn't get to ride Storm Runner, and Wildcats Revenge is going to take a shit on it, but it's pretty uninspiring for a B&M Hyper compared to like most of them. But it's still a B&M Hyper. Moving on. Number 99, a Raptor at Cedar Point. Like, here's the thing, with 325 credits, like, I'm already starting to get to the coasters that I really enjoy. Raptor at Cedar Point's fun, but is it world class compared, like, how people rank it usually? I don't know about that. 98, Jaguar, Knott's Berry Farm. I love this thing. It's basically like, especially when I'm high, it's like a scenic tour through the park on this, like, but the way you do it is you sit alone on a row. You don't sit with another motherfucker, because then when you bounce around left or right like a little pinball, ding, 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 like when it shuffles around, and it's so silly. Like, I really love it, and I rode it like 4 times when I was there, like real talk. 97, Hoosier Hurricane, Indiana Beach. It's a great ride, absolutely inferior to Cornball Express, but the visuals are great. It's fun as fuck, and it's absolutely re-rideable, and I think people talk too much shit about it as well. 96, Cheetah Hunt, Busch Gardens, Tampa. It's another one of those coasters that, what is it doing? Is it a family ride or is it a thrill ride? At being, you know, upper family thrill, whatever it's supposed to be, it's fun. It's nice. I enjoyed it smooth. The lines don't really justify riding it a lot of times because it gets like the longest line in the park, and I don't think that's justified waiting for it. I really don't. 95, oh my God, 95. I have such a long way to go still. Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. I was surprised that I liked it so much more than the other dives before it, but I just did. It was pleasant. That little airtime hill at the end was fun, and the theming helped a little. I don't know. I just really liked it. 94, Titan at Over Texas. It was ranked like 118 or something, but when I came back, the brake run didn't slow you down to 0 miles per hour anymore. It actually had forces. Like, there was like graying out shit happening in the helixes. I'm like, I had to ride it 4 times to confirm, like, did this coaster just completely change? And it did. Ride it, Titan haters. Give it one more shot. I mean, you're not going to love it a million times more, but it's totally better. 93, Mystery Mine at Dollywood. Couldn't believe how much I enjoyed this. It was a lot of fun. A little jank, sure, but one of my biggest problems with dark rides is that they don't thrill you really at all. Mystery Mine does that while still being, you know, the theming's a lot of fun. I bought a Mystery Mine shirt. That's the coaster I decided to rep from Dollywood. Fuck it. 92, Riddler, Mindbender, Six Flags Over Georgia. I would have rated this Schwarzkopf higher, I'm certain, had I ridden it with the old trains, but I didn't. I only rode it after the renovation, which sucks at fuck, but it is what it is. 91, New Revolution at Six Flags Magic Mountain. I really love that ride. It's so pleasant, especially at night. Like, it doesn't do anything miraculous, but it's still smooth as shit. It's really a good time, and I really enjoy it. 90, Silver Bullet, Knott's Berry Farm. I love how it just goes over everything. I prefer a B&M invert where your feet are dangling over people's heads for half the ride rather than, you know, most other B&M invert locations. It's fun.
89, Apocalypse. What's this alarm? Oh, I have an alarm telling me not to stay up late. Shut the fuck up, man. I know I have work. Shut up. I don't want to hear your opinion. Google, fuck that. Damn, where was I? I just fucked that. No, Silver Bullet, 89, Apocalypse, Six Flags Magic Mountain.
It's pretty rough, but it's so intense and way better than the wood coasters below it on this list. Like I really like it, but it's incomplete. Could be made better. Could be smoother. You know, could be a lot of things. 88 and 87, Ninja at Magic Mountain and the Bat at Kings Island. They are so far, well, they are the king of aero suspendeds until I'm assuming I ride Vortex at Canada's Wonderland, which I'm assuming will be better. But they are absolutely on a different tier from something like Iron Dragon. Really, really fun. Re-rideable, a lot of fun. I love them. 86, Big Apple Coaster at New York Casino. The only Togo I've been on. I've only ridden it with the newer trains that don't suck as much, and I loved it. I really, really have a soft spot for coasters in urban settings and shit, and this one absolutely delivers. It really does, dude. It's fun. The forces don't really exist. The dive loop is jank as fuck, but the setting is so crazy, like in between buildings and stuff. Like at night, you have to only at night, only ride that at night. It's great. Jank, great, but great. 85, Stealth at Thorpe Park. It's basically just a nerfed Top Thrill, or well, most King to Ka because of the OTSRs. But it's fun. Is it fun? Yeah, it's fun, but it's not in any way the best in any regard. It's a nerfed half-size King to Ka. 84, Incredible Hulk at Islands of Adventure. I think people rate this a little too highly. I enjoy it, but the second half meanders. It's fun, but it's not world class. It just isn't. It really isn't. 83, Wild Eagle at Dollywood. The setting really makes it. The forces aren't exactly the most intense in the world, but the setting is just absolutely great. And that's how it is for most coasters at Dollywood. Really enjoyable. Really pleasant experience. 82, Griffin, Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. It's my favorite of the model type. I mean, it really is. I love it. It's a shitload of fun. And about as fun as that model type can get. 81, Cornball Express, Indiana Beach. Love those buzz bars. It really belongs so well at Indiana Beach. You know, that it just fits really well, and I love everything about it. It's not the greatest wood coaster, but it's a buzz bar coaster in a really fun setting in a really cool place. I fuck with it. I'm not trying to hear a message. My friend Jill just wrote Air Force One, and like I asked her opinion, she's responding, so I can't be mad. But I'm not gonna be having messenger notifications. This one take looking stupid fucking video. Where the fuck did I go? Wild Eagle, Griffin, Cornball. 80, Dominator at King's Dominion is awesome. It's absolutely awesome. I really love that roller coaster. It's old school B&M with actual forces, unlike a lot of their newer shit. And that loop is enormous, lots of fun, etc., etc. Number 79, I have Kraken at SeaWorld Orlando, which surprised the shit out of me when I wrote it because I didn't expect it to be so good. It's one of the more intense B&Ms. The setting's a lot of fun. Shitloads of fun. Really, no complaints whatsoever about it. Number 78, Superman Krypton Coaster at Six Flags Fiesta Texas, which used to be my favorite of the either floorless or sitting coaster B&M models. But I recently decided at 77, Wildfire at Silver Dollar City is better. Not necessarily because of the forces, but the setting is the best. It's like the coolest backdrop for a roller coaster ever on Wildfire, like right off the side of the Ozark Mountains. I think that's the mountains. It's great though. 76, Fahrenheit at Hershey Park. Of spaghetti-looking coasters, this is a rare one that Intamin made, and Intamin is way better at it than the competition. I guess Gerstlauer Infinities, maybe I'm lying, because I have a Gerstlauer Infinity looking a few spots above. Well, it's not like I tell people that you're going to learn anything from my videos anyway. Oh shit, I see a defunct coaster still on this list that I need to take off. Darn it. 74 and 75, Freeze Reverse Blast, which one of them is not Reverse Blast anymore. Over Texas, I had St. Louis over Texas, and then the final day rides of the backwards train at Over Texas made it go over St. Louis for me because I had good company and et cetera, but switching it to face forward again, if I had to rank on my current rankings, that thing is easily going to drop when next season it's like not as fun. Why did they fucking do that? Number 73 is Montezuma's Revenge, the one I need to plug from this list because it's about to turn into like Montezuma 2 Electric Boogaloo or whatever. I couldn't believe how a simple shuttle loop was so much fun. It felt classic. That launch felt classic. And I'm so glad I was able to ride it like a week before. It was supposed to already be closed for renovations, but they decided to give it a few more weeks. And this was like right before Accelerator closed. I got to hit both of them. I had like the luckiest like Monday to Wednesday Knott's Berry Farm trip ever. Fucking lucky me, I guess. Anyway, 72 Nighthawk at Carowinds. I really love the Come a Flying Dutchman, and I preferred Firehawk. And Batwing would have probably gone over both of them from what I've heard, but the stupid thing was closed when I went to Six Flags America. Sucked. I'm one of the people who really likes it. It's weird as absolute shit, but I really enjoy those weird sensations, and I can't wait to ride one again. Fuck it. Coca-Cola. I'm drinking Coca-Cola. 71 Twisted Cyclone at Six Flags Over Georgia. My least favorite RMC, but it's still great. I'm assuming Joker and maybe Goliath at Great America are going to be better than them. In fact, I'm about to ride Goliath at Great America and a bunch of new shit, but I wanted to release this stupid video. It's got to have a timestamp of where my rankings were before that big-ass trip that's going to shake my rankings up quite a bit. Next up, we have 70 Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure at Islands of Adventure, my favorite of the family things. It's as fun as people say, and for someone who doesn't really fuck with family rides or, theming is their favorite thing in the world, even me, even like a hater piece of shit like me, can't really front. Hagrid's is a lot of fun. 69 Hang Time at Knott's Berry Farm. The only Gerstlauer Infinity I've been on until I ride Monster. Shitloads of fun, great forces, and I can really see the difference between a Gerstlauer Infinity and a Gerstlauer Eurofighter. They look really similar, but man, they really aren't. It's a lot of fun. For a compact footprint, like there need to be so many more of these than there are. I mean, for real. 68 Nitro at Six Flags Great Adventure. It's middle of the road B&M hyper. Lots of fun. I don't think it's as good as some people say, but it's a lot of fun. Absolutely gets obliterated by other coasters in the park, but hey, it's still a B&M hyper. I don't know how many times I've said that in this freaking video so far. 67 I have Galactica at Alton Towers. I only rode it when it was called Air, and it was a long time ago, so I'm not sure I trust my opinion. I watched the POV of it, and it kind of confirmed where I thought it would be, which is under 66 Tatsu at Magic Mountain, and 65 Manta at SeaWorld Orlando, which I consider the best two B&M flyers, with Manta being the best one. And now I'm confused because what happened to the Superman? Did I just straight up skip? Holy fuck, I fucked up. Oh, I see what happened. I had 205 Riddler's Revenge and 206 Green Lantern, and then the SNS free spins at 200, 201, and 202. I just completely skipped these because there's so much Superman, Batman spam on my rankings here. 203, Superman Ultimate Flight at Great Adventure. 204, Superman Ultimate Flight at Six Flags Over Georgia. I completely forgot to save those. But that's the difference in those B&M flyers versus Mantu and Tatsa. Manta and Tatsu at 65 and 66. Holy shit, this is such an unprofessional 43-minute mark video so far. Wow, it's bad. 64, I have Timberwolf at Worlds of Fun. I couldn't believe how much I enjoyed a Gen Corporation coaster that didn't fuck me up like Mean Street, which was actually a plus. That's like why I liked Mean Street. Good ride. I really, really fucking liked it, even more than the B&M Flyer. Like, can you believe that shit? Ride that shit. Number 63, I have Banshee at Kings Island. It is about as good as B&M Inverts get. A tier, I think. I have a couple higher, but Kings Island and B&M knocked it out the park with that one. And it's still only like the 5th best coaster at Kings Island, which is wild. Love that place. 62 is Alpengeist at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, which is the king of its model type, which Busch Gardens has
Well, I mean, it's okay. I'm lying. Ignore that. I confuse Alpengeist and Griffin all the time. Okay, that's a B&M invert. The other one is a B&M dive. Oops. Anyway, it's A tier B&M invert. I really enjoy it. Moving on, because I just fucked all of that up. What I just said. Holy shit. 61 Grizzly at King's Dominion, or in the old version, not the new version when they fix it and shit and make it better. The reason I love Grizzly so much, the front row would have been like by 120s, but the back row with its absolute chaos, it feels like losing a war. It is so fucking rough, and I love it. It's hilarious. Riding a jank disaster car wreck coaster while under the conditions I usually ride coasters is a treat for people with weird, warped personalities like me. This does not reflect what anyone else is going to rank Grizzly. It's usually near the bottom of people's rankings, but I'm weird, and go fuck yourself if you judge me. 60, Reptilian at King's Dominion, Mock Rides Bobsled. I could not believe how much I straight loved that coaster. You can cuddle someone on it. You can just lay down like you're on a couch and just vibe the fuck out. It's so relaxing, and I don't know why people don't like praise it more. It's a shitload of fun. Number 59 is a Superman Ride of Steel at Six Flags America, which basically just feels like a janky Millennium Force. But even then, like a shorter size or whatever. But even then, it's like a lot of fun and a great signature ride at a not great park. I like it. 58, Tennessee Tornado at Dollywood. This is basically them getting as good as they got with the Aero Mega Looper format. Couldn't believe how smooth and not painful it was, and it was a real treat, and I wish I could ride it more than like the 2 or 3 times I did. Lots of fun shit. 57, oh my god, maybe we might make this. 57, Gemini at Cedar Point. Keep in mind the ending of my rankings is gonna look a little fucked because when I ranked them in my old video, I didn't count the England stuff because it's gonna look weird having like 2 England coasters and like 48 US ones, but this is reflecting my actual things I've ridden. And I don't know why I'm bringing that point up like after I say Gemini at Cedar Point. There's no reason for that. But I'm gonna, since I just have like the quickest interruption ever, I do want to put in I've done a bucket list ranking, and I've like used context from other coasters and shit that I've ridden. And put it this way, I'm just gonna give you a quick rundown of the coasters I haven't ridden and their rankings in my bucket list. My friend likes to call this the Coast Tunes rankings, which is basically speculating on rides you've never ridden before. So I'm gonna absorb that twat energy and do exactly the same thing and be a complete hypocrite. So in my Coast Tunes rankings, I have number 1, Intimidator 305 at King's Dominion, which I fucking didn't get to ride twice. 2 fucking visits. I hate it so much. I'm going to slam through these because this video is already long as fuck. But just to show what I haven't ridden. Number 2, Shivering Timbers, Michigan's Adventure. Number 3, Boulder Dash, Lake Compounds. Number 4, Superman the Ride, Six Flags New England. 5, Phantom's Revenge, Kennywood. 6, Coaster at P&E Playland. That thing's going to make my top 20. I fucking know it. Number 7, which I need to update, which is wrong, is Airy Force 1 at Fun Spot, which I did actually rank. I'm just going to ruin it. It's my number 8 later. Go fuck yourself if you hate spoilers because you got fucked. Then I have Hades 360, Wicked Cyclone, Storm Runner, Cannibal, Ravine Flyer 2, Wildcats Revenge, Gold Striker, Goliath, Flying Turn, Zippin' Pippin, Leviathan, Monster Railblazer, Stunt Pilot, Goliath, Renegade, Cyclone, Wonder Woman, Flight of Courage, Jersey Devil, Raging Bull, Ride of Steel, Steel Curtain, TMNT, Shell Razor, Tremors, Great White, Joker, Max Force, Gale Force, Batwing, Medusa, Wooden Warrior, Afterburn, Super Duper Looper, and that's like 40. Okay, that's good enough. This sucks about the last 3 of the last 5. I've been to Six Flags America, Carowinds, and Hershey Park, but no Batwing, no Afterburn, no fucking Super Duper Looper. What a tragedy. Now back after my completely pointless interruption. Number 56, West Coast. Did I even talk about Gemini? I love Gemini. It's my 6th favorite coaster at Cedar Point, and it's just a joy. Nothing sucks about it. I love Gemini. Number 56, West Coast Racers at Magic Mountain. Unlike its Twisted Colossus cousin, this bitch actually properly duels every time. Really great forces, a lot better than I expected it to be. 55, I have American Thunder at Six Flags St. Louis. Very, very fucking good GCI. Really like it. Not a lot else to say other than it's just a great, great ride.
54 Thunderhead at Dollywood, which I think is a little bit better. Amazing GCI, no complaints. 53, I've got Boss at Six Flags St. Louis, which I consider the actual best ride at Six Flags St. Louis. My allergies are on so much fire. I don't know if you hear me scratching my nose, but like, I need to dust off this mic before using it. Why? God damn. It's like I have my nose in a beehive recording these videos. It's driving me batshit bonkers crazy. Drinking some Coca-Cola. Fuck, and I'm interrupting by smoking some weed too. Drink some water, everybody. You need to drink water to survive. Even though I'm looking at water right now, I'm going to smoke weed instead of drink water. And just hold on. I need this intermission. This long video is long. Number 20. Where am I? 56 West Coast Racers, Magic Mountain. Number 55, 53 Boss at Six Flags St. Louis. It's batshit crazy, the best coaster at Six Flags St. Louis. It's great. I know everyone disagrees, but I don't care about your opinion. Number 52 is the Swarm at Thorpe Park, and that ranking is very special because, specialized, I guess, because I rode it like the one season where they had the backwards train, and this reflects my backwards rides, which were hilariously insane. And I don't think Swarm can replicate that going forward. I'm not sure I even rode it going forward. I loved it. It was a lot of fun. 51 Nemesis, Alton Towers. It's fantastic. I only rode it a couple times when I was a teenager, but watching the POVs, it's really as I remember. It's king, and I'm gonna ride it again in the next few years, very hopefully. Love that shit. Number 50, Montu, Busch Gardens, Tampa, the actual king of B&M Inverts. You know, with the trenches and shit. The forces are just so strong. I wish more B&Ms would have the intensity of a coaster like Montu. I don't know why they fuck around with that. Damn it. Number 49. Holy shit, we're in top 50 territory. Let's go. 49, Intimidator, Carowinds. People complain too much about it, thinking it doesn't do a bunch of stuff. And yeah, it maybe it meanders a little bit at the end. But the way it just kind of fucks off so far away in like North Carolina or whatever, I don't know what it is. I just really like it. And I don't know what gives me a bias toward it. I really don't. But I just like it equivalent to 49th place. Just accept me. Number 48, Goliath, Six Flags Over Georgia. One of the best B&M hypers. I believe it's my third best favorite, yeah. It goes out of the park, has those rare B&M forces that do something, which makes it exciting. And so be it. 47, Thunderbird at Holiday World. Definitely reflects my Hollywood Nights ride where, you're going through blissful B&M shit with some pretty good forces going through the woods late at night. It's a very rare experience to just be lost in the woods on a B&M like that. And I really like it for that. 46, Full Throttle, Six Flags Magic Mountain. It's short, it's sweet, but it's exhilarating. I love it. 45, Shockwave, Six Flags Over Texas. My favorite short scoff I've been on. Unfortunately, didn't know Europe shit, and I didn't get to ride Mindbender, which is a tragedy. And dryer looping wasn't open when I was at Indiana Beach last year, but if it opens this year, which, my expectations aren't incredibly high, I'm pretty sure American dryer looping will beat it. But as it stands, it's the king of Schwarzkopfs for me. It's just classic, smooth. The seats couldn't be more padded and comfortable, and actual ejector airtime. It's awesome. Super marathonable. Can't say enough about it. Number 44, Storm Chaser at Kentucky Kingdom. Kind of like a C tier RMC in my opinion. But it's still a great RMC, but like I don't know, I just feel like it doesn't bring anything new to the table that isn't better on another coaster. Like every element I think another RMC does better. Number 43, Lightning Run, Kentucky Kingdom. I love both of those coasters, but they are like exactly the same intensity, doing exactly the same shit other than, Storm Chaser inverts a little or something. But they have the exact same level of intensity and are just like the same kind of ride as a number one. And I think Lightning Run, it's interchangeable which one wins each day, but I think Lightning Run is like 2 out of 3 visits my favorite Kentucky Kingdom ride, even though I've only been to Kentucky Kingdom twice, so go ahead and figure that one out. Number 40, Wonder Woman Golden Lasso coaster at Fiesta, Texas. This went up a few spots after my last ranking when I discovered that if you like lean forward and grab the bar ahead of you in the front row, kind of like you're Hagridsing it,
it becomes even more so like a go-kart on cocaine, like a Mazda Miata fucking around at like a very, very fast speed, and like leaning forward makes the ride like 15-20% better, and you should try it. It's a lot of fun. Haven't done Stunt Pilot or Railblazer, but I'm assuming they would fall in the same place. Haven't done the big ones yet either. The big RMC single rails. Number 41, Mamba Worlds of Fun. I don't know why I rank it so high. I didn't even ride it when it's the new version, when it became Mamba XL200 or whatever the fuck they're calling it. Because, with like the mid-course trim disabled. I went on the trimmed one and I still loved it. Why? Especially considering my hate towards steel eel, I have no idea. But I thought about it long and hard after riding it like a bunch of times, and I like it that much. And I'm assuming it's going to go even higher. Number 40, Boardwalk Bullet. I rode this like a few weeks ago. Kima Boardwalk. Gravity Group slaps. To be able to throw a coaster that awesome into a footprint that small is just absolute engineering excellence. And engineering excellence is not going to be the last time I say that about Gravity Group. Number 39, I have Orion at Kings Island, which is a B&M Giga that is not the best ride at Kings Island. And I know that's controversial, but fuck you. 38, Mystic Timbers, the second best coaster at Kings Island and the second best GCI. How much did that trigger you, Kings Island employees? It's great. It's a lot of fun. It's a classic ride, but it's not number one in anything. Number 37, I have Desert Storm at Castles and Coasters, and the only reason is when you're high as fuck with basically buzz bar height restraints on a looping janky steel roller coaster where you feel like you actually might die. It is so crazy and whack. And I know I rank it higher than anyone else on planet Earth, but I love Desert Storm at Castles and Coasters. I don't know what to tell you. Ride it and just ride it from the perspective of a lunatic and maybe be high. I'm sure that's why I loved it. I don't know. 36, Accelerator at Knott's Berry Farm. I was so fucking lucky. I rode it with the new paint job and with Montezuma right before both of them decided to just fuck off for over a year. Love it. I wish there would be more intimate accelerators that did something more than a top hat. And I wish that one was longer, but like late at night, dueling cars at like 70-something miles an hour on that is fun as fuck, man. Second favorite coaster at Knott's Berry Farm. 35, Mind Blower at Fun Spot Kissimmee. I actually like wood coasters that are kind of poorly maintained, that kind of fuck you up. The violence of an old rickety wood coaster is just hilarious. And to have that on one that has a corkscrew, and it's from my favorite people, Gravity Group. Like, I know it's not supposed to ride like that, but I love it. I love the chaotic, poor maintenance of Mind Blower. And if they clean it up and retrack it, everyone's gonna love it more, except probably me, because I'm fucking crazy. Number 34, I have Loch Ness Monster at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. It's iconic. The interlocking loops, kind of that dark tunnel. Something about its personality is why I have it so high. I really, really value unique experiences, and I think in the scale of Aero Mega Looper bullshit, Loch Ness Monster just hits the buttons well for me more so than other motherfuckers. I'm looking on my right screen right now. That's fucking cracked. I run fucking karaoke shows, and it's the second of my monitors that broke in the last month and a half from like me, I guess, not protecting it well enough when I transport it. And I'm just like recording this video, looking at it, pissed off that I have to buy another goddamn monitor on Amazon. Fuck. 33, I have Mako at SeaWorld Orlando, my second favorite B&M Hyper. The forces are surprisingly great for a more modern B&M. Around the water, it's really fucking pleasant, and I can't recommend it enough. It's easily the best ride at SeaWorld Orlando and slaps your mom 34 times. 32, big one, Blackpool Pleasure Beach. I remember being enamored by this coaster when I was a kid on Roller Coaster Tycoon, because you actually had Blackpool Pleasure Beach as one of the selectable parks. And when I finally got to see that thing in person, it was the same kind of feeling I had when I saw Millennium Force. Oh my god, a Giga coaster! Oh my god, a hyper coaster! And I know it meanders, and I know it's not incredible. And Magnum XL takes a complete dump on it. Haven't ridden Desperado or the Japan thing, but
really do rank it that high because it was fun, and it was like my first date ever was there, and the date went really, really horribly, but I still loved the big one, and I can't wait to ride it again now that I'm less of an idiot. I mean, I'm still totally an idiot, but not like, I can appreciate things better now, I think. Number 31, an hour into this freaking video, is New York. Why did I just do this in 2 videos in a row? I know I'm high when I record these, but why do I read New Texas Giant as New York Texas Giant? I don't even say New York Giant. I just want to say my other video, I did the same thing. What the fuck is wrong with me? New Texas Giant at Six Flags Over Texas, and I need to explain that. The 8 out of 10 intensity on RMC versus the 11 out of 10 they normally go for is the reason people don't care for it that much. But to me, it just feels like it stands out on its own as a result because it is an RMC that feels just pleasant and great the entire time. It's marathonable. It doesn't make it inaccessible for people who can't get Air Force One kind of intensity and accept it very well. I think it's just a graceful, wonderful experience, and I love it. Even after like 20 rides or whatever, I rank it higher than like half of the RMCs. Like, it is what it is. I mean, I think it's half. I forget how many RMCs are above. It's actually a lot. So, well, anyway, it's not the worst RMC by any metric. Twisted Cyclone is. And I rode Twisted Cyclone a week ago, so I can claim that shit. 30, Legend, Holiday World. 29, Raven, Holiday World. These brother CCIs. Everyone has a different opinion on which is better, but it doesn't matter because at Hollywood Nights, at night, both of them are fucking awesome. I slightly prefer Raven. I got the Raven t-shirt instead of the Legend t-shirt. That last drop near the end, going into the water thing, I don't know. It just, the chaos of it feels a little nicer to me, but Legend slaps so much. Its laterals are crazy. It really depends on what you like, and I like them almost equally, but Raven edges it out. 28, I have Diamondback at Kings Island. Unlike my other video where I just slammed through like the last 25, I won't slam through these. I'll actually say a couple words about them and not be a complete dingleberry. Let me drink some water. Okay, so 28 Diamondback at Kings Island is the best B&M hyper, and that's because it just gets the forces right. The 4-cross seating feels really nice. That little water element at the end. Everything about it, I don't know what it is. I rode Diamondback and Orion like 7 or 8 times each in my last visit to Kings Island, and I just like, Diamondback is better. I don't know why. It's technically does everything worse than Orion does, but I think it's better. And there it is. That's my opinion. And if you don't accept it, I love for you how you can click X on this video instead of leaving a stupid comment that I won't read, complaining about my opinion. 27, Time Traveler at Silver Dollar City. I think it is one of the most majestically happy things ever, that roller coaster. For that, I can't wait to ride Ride of Happiness. Oh. And the reason why it's Ride to Happiness, isn't it? Yeah. 27, Time Traveler. I don't know why I just said its number again. It's not part of the roller coaster's name. I hate that I have to keep perpetuating the whole being high thing, but when you're in that blissful mental state, on more than one ride when I arrived in the station at Time Traveler, my eyes were tearing from just joy. That sounds like the most puny little sad thing in the world, but it's true, and I'm just telling you the truth. The forces aren't extreme, and if I were to just talk about it at a face value level, I don't think it would justify the ranking it has, but just everything about it just brings me joy. And that's why it's that high, and I talked way too long about it. 26, I got King Decot, Six Flags Great Adventure. I only rode that in the front row, and it was lucky because like I got to skip a bunch of people in the line. Some one person who had the row to themselves, and they were calling somebody to fill it in, and I was like, don't mind if I freaking do. And I loved it, but Top Thrill Dragster's better, and unfortunately Top Thrill's still ranked here because I forgot to take it out of my rankings. And an hour and 5 minutes into this video, and I didn't do anything to prepare for it. I'm a real professional. Number 25, with another hot take for y'all bitches, is Prowler at Worlds of Fun, which I think is the actual best GCI. Everything Mystic Timbers does, I won't say Prowler does better, but it does it equivalently, and its setting just kicks more ass. The ride operators who were there that day were super cool. The energy was cool, and my memories of my day on Prowler were better than my 2 days of memories on Mystic Timbers. It is what it is, baby. Number 24, Phoenix at Knoebels. Dude, your standing airtime, like, that's a real thing. The Buzz Bar experience on that is absolutely out of this freaking world, and I can't recommend it enough. I know that people like say that it's like overranked and stuff, but like not really. Even though I've never seen a coaster whose POV tells you less of the story than Phoenix, put it that way. You need to ride it. The airtime is out of this world, especially near the end, which is one of the few coasters where I can definitely claim that the second half is absolutely better than the first half. Number 23, Outlaw Run at Silver Dollar City. Used to be my friend's number 1, who's been on more credits than I have. But I haven't gotten those night rides, and I think that's really the variable in why Outlaw Run has a little more climbing to do. But still, out of control, wood coaster experience, topper track shit. The setting can't be beat, and it's a blast. A little flawed because of its length, and I haven't done the night rides. So I think that has a chance of cracking top 20 after night rides, but we'll see. 22, Twisted Timbers at King's Dominion. I would say is an A-tier RMC. Like that and Outlaw Run, this is when the A-tier starts. And Twisted Timbers just does everything right. It's probably the most marathonable RMC. It's just perfect for its footprint. It couldn't really be doing anything better. I really like it. 21, Lost Coaster of Superstition Mountain at Indiana Beach. And this is the first one like of 3 in a row where I really need to explain myself. I highly, highly, highly value unique experiences. And I get happiness out of these unique experiences more than other people. And I'm ranking all of these coasters based on the amount of happy it gave me on the most important ride, or on the best ride that I've gotten on it. And being completely transparent, these are the real spots that these 3 coasters landed on, because I just love quirky shit. It made me happy. The same way that like those boring ass dark rides make you Disney people and Universal people happy, dumb shit makes me happy. 21, Lost Coaster of Superstition Mountain. Riding in this little pinball table backwards cart in a ride that shouldn't even be there. It's so fucking ridiculous. Even at 20 miles an hour, it feels so much more intense because there's no coaster with a tighter clearance than this thing. It's so fun and so creative. Speaking of creativity, number 20, Switchback at ZDTs. How did they do this? When you're driving up to ZDTs, you don't see the coaster until you're almost in the parking lot. It's in the middle of a neighborhood. There's homes that you can throw a rock and break someone's window from the lift hill. I don't understand. They had an old supermarket there, and instead of like demolishing it, Gravity Group was like, just keep it there, we'll do something with it. And then now you have a wood coaster going backwards through a former grocery store. It's so fucking creative, and I really wish more parks would go crazy with it, and I really wish Gravity Group would just honestly get more contracts as a whole, because things like Switchback are so creative. And just watching that switch track at the end, like when you don't make it back up the initial lift hill so you can go back to the station, the way they figured out this engineering problem is proof that these are just chads, dude. Everyone in Gravity Group. Number 19, and that might be the first word I've ever used, the first time I've ever used the word Chad in my life. I hate that word, but it seemed applicable here. Number 19, the third one in a row I need to explain, is the Beast at Kings Island. I'm sorry. If you basically gave a teenager a shitload of like caffeine and sugar and shit and was like, here's a lot of money, just do some dumb shit that doesn't make sense, boom, click save, there's the Beast. This coaster makes no sense, covers like 30 acres or some shit. I don't care. Those night rides, that jankiness, and also the 2022 Gravity Group, love them, reprofiling. The ride's riding better than ever. It's fun. It's whatever your opinion of the Beast was prior to 2022, ride it again. And then just raise it up your rankings. Just do it. I believe in you. It's awesome. I love it. It's my favorite coaster at Kings Island, and it's not even close. It's not. It's awesome. Number 18 is a mistake because I didn't pull it. Top Thrill Dragster at Cedar Point. Got every good memory you could have. Front row.
twice in a row, like, a rained out day at Cedar Point that nobody came back to, and I got to get all the good rides on it. Saw rollback, loved it. But I need to take it off my rankings because it no longer exists in its current form. And man, I'm really enjoying all the speculation where like theme park predictions or whatever, and then other people are like certain that it's one thing, and then 2 weeks later they're certain it's the exact opposite on what they're doing with the spike and all of that. The speculation, I just can't do speculation. I wait until a ride's open and then I ride it and then I fucking ramble. But I'm not a fan of speculation. But I don't want to like gatekeep people who don't have access to the rides or anything. So I don't want to make it look like I'm a complete dickhead about that. But if you're running a YouTube coaster channel, I think you need to be a little more informed. As a viewer, you don't have that standard you need to meet. But come on, if you're making YouTube videos, please know what you're talking about. Why am I on that point? I have no idea how I got there. Number 17, I've got Sky Rush at Hershey Park. And I think Storm Runner would have been close to it had I ridden it. But Sky Rush, Thigh Crush is true. I don't think it ruins the ride. And in fact, the ejector is so absolutely crazy that maybe it even needs it. I don't know. Absolute thrill. Love it. Can't say a negative thing about it other than, obviously the restraints should probably be less thigh crushy. Number 16, Pantheon at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. This park really needed a coaster like this because it was really fucking lacking. It's everything you could have really wanted. Modern Intamin, I love what they're doing. I'd love to see something on an even larger scale, Modern Intamin. They're doing some shit in Europe that I can't wait to check out in the next few years. But for now, Pantheon is awesome. Number 15, I got Fury 325 at Carowinds, the king of B&Ms. And I haven't ranked this low because even though it does everything right, it does everything right from the point of the general public. As someone who likes just batshit crazy rides, 15 is exactly where it belongs for me, even though, is it a 10 out of 10 coaster? Yeah, like everything in my top like fucking 40 at least is a 10 out of 10, if not an 11 or 19 out of 10. But that's where Fury goes, and for B&M to go higher, they need to thrill me more. I don't know what else to tell you. Number 14, I got Maverick at Cedar Point, which does the thrilling thing just fine. Haven't ridden it in a couple years. I fucked up riding it in the last trip that I was on, but I do remember, my 2013, 2016, 2018 visits, that it was absolutely fantastic, and watching the POVs, I can confirm that it isn't really moving at all on my rankings when I do get to ride it again. Number 13, Iron Rattler at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. One of the parks closest to me at a very comfortably close 7.5 hours away. Dives off a cliff, a little short, but that first drop is unbelievable. And as long as you're in single rider and you come at a right time when you're riding it a lot, it's great. Having to wait an hour each time kind of fucking sucks, but Iron Rattler is a lot of fun, and A-tier RMC for sure. Number 12, Magnum XL 200 at Cedar Point. Everything, I'm basically with Airtime Thrills in this one. It's that good. It's a little janky, but you just cannot beat the ejector and the just general craziness of that ride. I love that thing. And I love how you don't really have to wait for it very much when you go to Cedar Point. So you get to ride something of that caliber as much as you want. Love that. Especially now that I hit the Magic Seat. Magic Seat for life. Number 11, Twisted Colossus at Six Flags Magic Mountain. And that's reflecting like perfect conditions. Like, I met a girl when I went alone to Magic Mountain, and like we kind of hit it off, and we just marathoned it late at night when it was dueling every single time. That the perfect twisted, and it was like in the 60s, and it was dueling like 12 times in a row without getting out of the train like that. I'm pretty sure people aren't getting perfect conditions on Twisted Colossus like that, so it would have been lower in my rankings not being under those conditions, but it's fucking awesome. I really like it. Number 10, Velocicoaster at Islands of Adventure. I'm sure a lot of you are surprised to see it that low, and it's a perfect ride, and everything everyone says about it is true, but the rides above it just do things I like even more, and it is what it is. Number 9, which was my number 1 for years, Millennium Force, Cedar Point. It's just, I know that it doesn't have the most intense thrills in the world, but its gracefulness and its just sheer speed and its presence are just fucking awesome.
and it's not as polished as the B&Ms, and I consider that an asset, to be quite honest with you. Take it or leave it, Millennium Force belongs in that spot for me. Number 8, my most recent coaster that I rode, and I was upset. I felt like I was cheating on a spouse putting this thing over Millennium Force, but John Aries bullshit. Aerie Force One, that Fun Spot Atlanta did make my number 8, and it's S tier RMC. This is the first S tier, along with the obvious usual suspects. I can't believe this ride is in this park. It is fucking incredible, and I talk about it a lot in my most recent video. So just go watch that, okay? Number 7. Oh my God, I'm almost done. My allergies are about to make me want to shoot myself. No, I don't. I don't want to do that. Shooting yourself is stupid. Don't do that. That's bad. But it's awful. Hyperbole. Ow, it sucks. Anyway, number 7 is Ghost Rider at Knott's Berry Farm. As I said, my Knott's Berry Farm visit was just absolutely perfect. I rode it 13 times. I don't know how it's possible when everyone has to wait like 2.5 hours every time, but the laterals are unbelievable. The length is so satisfying. It is one of the elite 3 woodies for me. I don't know if most people have an opinion like that, but I don't really care because this video is about my opinion. Number 6, El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure. Number 2 of 3 of the elite 3 woodies in the US for me. What haven't you heard about El Toro? Like, I just feel like I'll be parroting the same shit. It's elite. It's absolutely fucking elite. Number 5, Lightning Rod at Dollywood. You just can't beat the setting. I don't think that it is even in the top 3 most intense RMCs, but that quad down going off the edge of the Smoky Mountains with that backdrop is one of the most picturesque, thrilling fucking things ever. And I just love that ride, and it belongs in my top 5. I'm glad it's there. I love Lightning Rod. Is it number 1 like Canopy says? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that the reason Canopy has it as number 1 is because there's memories attached, which is kind of the same reason I rank the way I do anyway. Number 4, Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens Tampa. It is absolutely batshit bonkers crazy. It has better pacing than the RMC above it, which all of you know is Steel Vengeance. I don't know why I'm gonna like make you anticipate that. It's amazing. They couldn't have done better with the footprint. Everything you heard about it is true. Absolutely a bucket list coaster. Shits on Velocicoaster, the best Florida has to offer. And if you rank it as your number 1, honestly, you're right, but I just don't have it as my number 1. Number 3, X2 at Six Flags Magic Mountain, which I know would be topped by Asia Nike. I want to eventually ride that. But anyway, the only 4th dimension coaster I've been on. I love it. Everything about it is so stupid. Like, how does this exist? It is such a ridiculous contraption. The sensation, I've never gotten a ride on X2 where I'm not arriving at the station in hysterics. No coaster makes me laugh more, not even Time Traveler. X2 is awesome, and it's a real damn shame that it bankrupted Aero. Fuck that. Number 2, Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point, the king of RMCs. Used to be my number 1 for a while when it got dethroned very recently. You can't beat the length. I really love the second half where you don't know whether you're facing upside down or right side up. Once again, parroting all the million things you've heard about Steel Vengeance. Yes, it's that good. The weights suck, and that's one of the few reasons why it's not my number 1 anymore, because you really do lose your momentum when you have to wait like 90 hours for this thing. But when you don't have to wait too much and the conditions are right, this is as good as roller coasters get, straight up. It rules. I loved Mean Streak 2, by the way. I need to give a heads up to Mean Streak. Mean Streak for life. Number 1, The Voyage at Holiday World. I have a video on that, which you can ride as well. And oh my God, I'm so glad I'm at the end of this fucking horrific video. Oh my God. The Voyage at Holiday World is the most premium experience I've ever had in an amusement park. And the reason why is the Hollywood Nights event, late at night, trimless. It's as good as roller coasters get. It's everything is just fucking batshit crazy. PTC trains in the best layout I've ever seen. Hypercoaster-esque first half and terrain insanity in the second half, which becomes terraininsanity.com when you ride it in the conditions late at night with the event with the untrimmed thing. Like, it's the best. It's the best thing ever, and everyone needs to go to this event once in their life. Anyway, holy shit.
This video is like fucking 80 minutes long. I need to end this. I don't even know what I'm putting as a backdrop, the music. Why am I even releasing this? This is such a selfish video. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna publish it because the YouTube algorithm wants you to discover who I am so they can find out why they don't need to promote me. Anyway, I hope you have a blessed day or some bullshit, and thanks for listening to 80 minutes of my rambling. Not sure why you did that, but if so, then I guess I'm not going to tell you to subscribe because I'm pretty sure you're already subscribed if this is what you listen to and like. But anyway, I'll talk to you later, and bye-bye.